Well, guys, it's that time of the week again for the
Woo woo!
weekly top 5 ranking. And this week on the weekly top 5, we will be ranking our most wanted Injustice 3 characters. So, what we did was if they've already been in an Injustice game before, they cannot be on our list. So, these are brand new characters that have not been in before. Also,
And to be clarified, main Injustice games,
yeah,
so the mobile app or, anything like that, those don't
do not
count. So if
count.
they
Yeah.
were in a mobile game, we can use them.
Also, we did add a one DLC character that we think would be fun to add as a DLC. So they're not Marvel. I mean, they're not DC character. They're just someone that we think, oh, they could possibly be a DLC character. And
A
we
little
noted it.
cameo character.
Yeah, we noted it for you guys so you guys could see which ones we were thinking. But with all that out of the way, heading over to the ranking room, we'll start with you, Paul.
Okay, okay. So I have a lot of characters that are in the Injustice comics, for those of you who read the comics, but still have not shown up to the game itself. And one of them is Etrigan the Demon. He is my honorable mention. He is a very he's a kind of a out there character because he rhymes all the time whenever he's saying things and killing people. Like that's what he does. That's his shtick, and he is basically an alter ego of a character. I believe his human form is Jason Blood, if I'm remembering correctly. You might have to fact check me on that.
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
But Etrigan the Demon is super duper powerful in the comics and in the TV show DCU, or not DCU, but the DC animated shows. And I think that he'd be extremely fun to play as in the Injustice universe. And if they put him in the story, it'd kind of be interesting to see what he does in Injustice 3, because in the comics themselves, he's used very sparingly.
You
He
are
shows
correct.
up a
Jason
couple
Blood.
times.
Jason
Jason Blood.
Blood.
All right,
Yep.
cool. I was right. But I think Etrigan would be pretty fun, and I like big hulking characters like that. Like I play Thing in Marvel Rivals, so characters like him they're always fun to play as. Number 5, Rorschach. And Jacob was arguing against me whenever I put Rorschach on my list because he's not really DC, but he is a DC Comics character. Now, is he in the Justice League DC universe? Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. So Rorschach is technically a DC Comics character, and that's why I put him on here. I think that Rorschach would be a super cool character to put in Injustice. He's kind of like Batman. He's a detective. He doesn't have superpowers. He's just a really raw physical dude. And if you've ever watched the Watchmen movie, oh my God, Rorschach is the coolest character with the coolest lines. The "You're not or locked in," or "I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me." Oh my God, I watch that scene on YouTube every month just so I can get my date or my monthly Rorschach fix. He's such a cool character, and I think that he would be an awesome addition. I would love to see his move set, his fighting style, and just to hear all the quips because in these Injustice games and the Mortal Kombat games, they always have those little quips at the beginning of a fight where they egg on the other character that they're fighting against. He would have some pretty awesome quips. It's like stuff like "You're not a real hero." Rorschach would be so much fun. Moving on to my number 4, Beast Boy. He is the only Teen Titan to not be in an Injustice game yet. We've already had Raven, Starfire, Robin, Nightwing, technically, and Cyborg. So we've already had everybody else except for Beast Boy. So it's his time to shine. And they would probably need to use a more grounded version of Beast Boy. I put up the Teen Titans cartoon version of him, but for him to be an Injustice and as dark a world as Injustice is, they'd probably need to use a more aged up and more mature Beast Boy, but I think he'd be pretty fun. Like his different move sets could be him transforming into a different animal for a second. Like, he could turn into a bear and swipe your character off the stage, or he could fly around as an eagle. Like I think he'd be very interesting and very, very strategic character to play as in this fighting game. Moving on to my number 3, this is another character that is heavily, heavily important in the comics. Constantine, John Constantine. First of all, I love Constantine. The guy who plays Constantine in the CW shows, I forget his name for the life of me right now, but he was so good in the CW shows that he basically plays Constantine everywhere now. Every time that they have an animated version of him, every time he's in a video game, anytime that he shows up anywhere, they use the same guy
Matt
because he
Ryan.
is that's the name I was thinking of, but I wasn't
Yep.
sure if that was correct. So yeah,
Matt
Matt
Ryan.
Ryan. Dude, he is awesome as Constantine, and bringing him to Injustice using magic and stuff, he'd be such a fun character to play as. I would love to play Constantine. And like I said, in the comics, he is super, super important. Constantine is kind of like one of the heavy hitters when it comes to, magic in the DC universe. And one of the comics, I believe, I'm probably not 100% accurate on this because it's been a while, but he straight up takes the entire universe, the entire Earth universe, and puts it in a pocket dimension to save it from Superman. And yeah, like he's extremely powerful. And at one point, he kind of like or not paired. He played Batman and Superman off of each other so that he could get what he wanted, like so that Constantine could get what he wanted, and then he just said, "All right, you guys enjoy your war. I'm out." And then he just whoop faded out of existence because he was like, "Not my fight. Don't want to be here." But if they bring him back for Injustice 3, that'd be super cool because he's a very fun character. And my next character, my number 2, is my DLC character. So this is a character that you all should know and love. His name is Sorry, had to do it. Invincible. I love Invincible. The show is so much fun, and I think that he would be a great addition to Injustice. He is a little bit more violent and bloody than the rest of the DC Injustice characters, but we all saw Omni Man in Mortal Kombat 1, and everybody loved playing Omni Man. Omni Man was so much fun to play as. And I think that putting Invincible in an Injustice game, I think they could tone him down, make him a little bit less, violent and bloody as he is in the actual show and the comics and stuff, but still be a fun character to play as. And all the different like quotes that he could say and costumes and his powers, I think he'd be a really good addition. Just a very different character to play as than our normal batch of superheroes. And my number one, Static Shock. Love Static Shock. I watched the Static Shock show in the 90s when I was a kid, and at the time I didn't really even know he was a DC character until he did like crossovers with Batman and Superman and Teen Titans. Like the dude was just popping up in everybody else's universe multiple times. I'm like, "Oh, cool. This is awesome." Like at the same time, I think his show, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, all those shows were happening at the same time, and Static Shock was crossing over with all of them. And he's a super fun character, a teenage kid with electricity powers, and he flies around on a little metal disc using static electricity. He's almost kind of like Magneto in that kind of way, where he's able to manipulate the magnetic properties. So he'd be a very, very fun character, and I would love to see him in Injustice 3.
So name them down. Run them down again.
All right, so my honorable mention was Etrigan the Demon. Number 5 was Rorschach. Number 4, Beast Boy. Number 3, John Constantine. Number 2, Invincible. And number 1, Static Shock.
All right. So guys, as you can see, Paul's list, there was mine. We're about to do mine, but there is one similarity. We like to
Just
point
one.
out when we have similarities. There's only gonna be one this week, but we have a good variation. So going over to my list, we will start with my honorable mention. So for my honorable mention, I have Beast Boy, like we were just talking. And I think I like Paul was saying, an older Beast Boy, something like this, how we have on, for mine, the red and white Beast Boy. I think how Beast Boy could play very similar to kind of like how there's a couple characters like you have like Blue Beetle is the big one I have, where Blue Beetle can switch his kind of form and how he fights with his blades or just with his fists. I think you could do that with Beast Boy, where maybe he's normal Beast Boy, or he turns into, maybe a gorilla, or he turns into a tiger, or you can kind of pick how he does it. But I think Beast Boy would be really fun, and like Paul was saying, we haven't gotten we haven't gotten Beast Boy and we've gotten all the other Teen Titans. So I think Beast Boy would be really fun. So moving on to my number 5 would be King Shark. Specifically, I want a King Shark that is like King Shark from James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie because I that is my favorite character in that movie. I love King Shark. He is such an adorable, friendly character, and he just seems like a fun guy to be friends with. And even though he tries to eat people at the beginning, he's just such a sweetheart. It's the only thing I can come up with, and he's such a lovable dude. And I would want that type of innocent type of King Shark. And now, if they went with a violent King Shark, that would also be fun. Like I think King Shark would just be a very fun type, big hulking character to play as, and he would just be really fun. So yeah, moving on to my number 4, we have my DLC, which is the Power Rangers. And you can have Mighty Morphin, that's fine. I think that they should play though like how the Ninja Turtles played, where you have all these weapons, and then you can switch between which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle you can be. So if you equip, you know, Raphael's size, then you're Raphael. Or if you equip Leo's swords, you're Leo. I think that would be really fun with the Power Rangers, and you can have so many different Power Rangers, because the
Oh god,
base is
yeah,
the
there's so
same,
many.
but you can change it up. I mean, and if they only picked one, I would probably go with the green Power Ranger, go with Tommy. Like that's where I would go with it. If not, the white Dino Ranger. If not, then I'd go with the red Samurai Ranger. So that's kind of where I would do with those. But I think it'd be so much fun if we had all the Power Rangers and you could switch with the weapons and keep a good base. And I think there's so much customize stuff you could do with the Power Rangers. So I think Power Rangers would be really fun. So my number 3, I have Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, and he has gotten really big within the past couple of years as a Green Lantern, and I just love Kyle Rayner. I think he would be so much fun to have another type of Green Lantern character besides just Hal Jordan. Like obviously we've always had like a Green Lantern. We've always had Hal Jordan as Green Lantern. Then we have like either we had Atrocitus in the second one, and then we had Sinestro in the first one. I think it would just be fun to have another, similar Green Lantern character in Kyle Rayner. And I think, if Hal Jordan's more calculated and slow with his fighting, he's not super slow, but if he's more calculated, we could have Kyle Rayner maybe being a little bit faster, just completely different. I think Kyle Rayner would be fun. So my number 2, I have Ra's al Ghul. I think he would play really well in the Injustice universe. He's also been in the comics as a side to help with Superman, and I think his if he had battles with Batman, that would just be really fun. Especially having like a swords type character that's very calculated. You could fight different ways. I think he'd play similar to how Robin played in Injustice 2. Different though. I'd want him to play, good difference, but have a sword character like that that's higher skill cap. But you play with him, you could probably do like little teleportation things with him. I just think Ra's al Ghul would be really fun, not just as a character to play, but also a character inside the story. So, and
Definitely, yeah.
and then my number 1 is I would love Batman Beyond. I don't know how you would do it. I don't know how if you make him a DLC character, if you somehow make it to where people from the future are coming back. I think Batman Beyond though would be so much fun, and I think people would love it if we had a Terry McGinnis in here as Batman Beyond and just coming in and wrecking house as Batman Beyond. Yes, we've had skins as Batman Beyond, but that's not an actual Batman Beyond character. Yes, we've had the skins, but it's not the actual Batman Beyond character, and I think it'd be really fun. And to have two different Batmans would also be an interesting thing to see, like kind of how they did in Mortal Kombat 11 with two different like Raidens and two different Scorpions and two different Liu
Oh yeah,
Kangs.
from the different eras, yeah.
Yeah, well, because they did time travel, so I think Batman Beyond would just be perfect. So, running down my list again, guys, my honorable mention is Beast Boy, my number 5 is King Shark, number 4, Power Rangers, number 3, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, number 2, Ra's al Ghul, and number 1, Batman Beyond. Well, guys, that'll do it for our weekly top 5 ranking. What did you guys think? What are your top 5 Injustice 3 characters that you want to see in the game? Let us know in the comments below. Want more? Check us out on YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, or even the link down below for the full podcast.
Leave us a comment if you guys have any thoughts, questions, or ideas. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more videos and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.